Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Mack Flash Trivia. My name is Francois, and I will be your host for the next little bit. This is Seriously Trivia Live. Welcome to another wonderful Friday night trivia. It's good to see a lot of you in the chat already reporting in. Thank you for your patience. The internet gods were not on my side tonight, but they changed their minds when they realized what it was for. They said, oh, for Seriously Trivia. Oh, well, definitely you can have some internet for that. We are here. We're back. We're going to play some trivia. We're going to play 2 rounds, as a matter of fact, of Seriously Trivia. And this is how it's going to work tonight. You should have definitely some sort of equipment on hand, writing tools, if you will, writing utensils, and something to write on as well, whether it's a whiteboard and marker or a pen and paper. Maybe you keep tabs of it on your phone or in a word processor, whatever it is, good enough for me, because we're going to be facing 10 categories twice tonight. That's right, 2 rounds of each of them with 10 categories in them, which you will be picking out by shouting them out here in the chat. Let me know exactly the order that you want to play them in, and we'll do that. It adds a little bit of interactivity, like we're actually sitting in the same room together. The whole thing's a mix of puzzles and trivia, so don't be surprised when you pick a category and we play it to find some of that in there. You will find 3 questions that you will then answer on your board or paper, discreetly, of course, and keeping track of all that, because in the end, or after each round, I will be revealing the answers to these questions, and you'll be able to mark your own board and keep track of your own score, of course, sharing it in the chat with everybody else and keeping track of your total score for the game as we go. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight, I can guarantee. I've got myself a lot of great categories ready for you, some favorites and some other stuff that I think you might approve of. So let's take a look at those categories. Then I want to say hi to some teams. All right, let's take a look here. Seriously Trivia on YouTube, round 1. Looking at, of course, Life on the Chain Gang to start it all off. Winter is coming. The Bacheloroids. We got songs in the key of Same But Diff is here. Quiz On. Initial Reaction. Font to Film. Taser. And Movie Madness. There you have it. Those are your categories, and already some people have been writing in. So we've got your Lloyds, followed by Winter coming up, and then we've got Songs, followed by Font, and then we got Winter, some Brad Libs. Oh, you almost got me there. Almost got me, you little sneaky. All right, let's get started right now with these, and I'll write down the rest of them afterwards. We got your Lloyds coming up. That's what we're starting off with. Somebody asked Lloyds. It's Josh, as a matter of fact. Let's take a look at the Bacheloroids. Well, of course, we're talking about your Ditloids category of the night. A Ditloid is an abbreviation or an acronym or an initialism, if you will, of a common expression, saying, or statement of fact. In this case, because it's called the Bacheloroids, we're talking about TV shows. Get it? Like The Bachelor? I don't know. It's a stretch. It's a stretch. I admit it myself. It's fine. But in this case, what I'm going to do is give you a television show and then one of the principal actors on that show as an added bonus. So it's 1 equals TH with CMM. You would write down One Tree Hill with Chad Michael Murray. All right, we've got 3 of them coming up right now in that format. All 3 of them are television shows. Let's take a look at number 1. 21 equals JS with JD. Expand all that for the point. Sue, I'm with you. I also would not write that down. I'd be like, one the hell with what? Let's take a look at number 2 in Bacheloroids. We're talking about a television show and a principal actor from that show. 2 equals BG with KD. So immediately you're thinking of television shows with numbers in them. And finally, number 3 in your category of Ditloids tonight, another television show, 8 equals SR for DMTD with JR. And that's how you play your Ditloids. That's The Bacheloroids, 3 television shows that contain numbers and then one of the principal actors from that show. You need all of the information, of course, for the point. So tally those answers right now, lock them in, and let's take a look at what I was expecting. And let's see if it matches with yours. Number 1, we had 21 Jump Street with Johnny Depp. Of course, he wasn't alone in the show, but that's a good indication of what show I was referring to. At number 2, we were looking at 2 Broke Girls with Kat Dennings. Newer show, and a show with a number in the title. And finally, at number 3, we wanted to see 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter with John Ritter at the beginning, and then his memory carried on in the later seasons of the show. Give yourself a point for each one of those that you got correct. I'll see you back at the front while you tally your scores. And a nice hello to all these following teams that are joining us right now. Hello to LB, thanks for being here. Sarah and Kelsey, hello. We've got Dream Warriors West. Logley's in the house. The Naughty Hookers are here. We got the Hackers on the upper deck. And hello to Frank's family. Welcome to the game. Thanks for playing. Cheating Cheaters are here. We got La Société de la Sneaky Sneak, commiserating with my internet issues. Hello to the Christ Punchers Mini, I guess, with a shortened roster. And who else? The COVID Conman are here. And Hot Mess Express, all of the great teams. All of the great teams are here tonight playing right now. I've got myself 4 more categories written down. Afterwards, I'll let you know which ones are left. Feel free to shout them out. We're just having some fun tonight. This is it. This is how we play Seriously Trivia. Let's get it going. Let's take a look at these scores. We got some 3s and some 1s. It's going to be an insane sort of night. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Let's keep going. We've got winter is coming, no doubt, no doubt. I know fall's coming soon, but this is a whole category all about Game of Thrones. Once in a while, these categories come up, and I've just got to include them in the show. You know, sometimes there's a gem, and you just go right with it. Let's take a look at 3 questions about Game of Thrones. Number 1, Icelandic actor and strongman Hafthor Bjornsson took over what role in season 4 until the final season? And I'll give you 1 point each for his name and his nickname in the show. Number 2, nice and simple, but complex enough. Name Daenerys' 3 dragons. Oh, this is definitely a category for people who have watched the show. I don't think a casual follower stands a chance here. Let's take a look at number 3. What is the name of the army of elite warrior eunuchs bred and trained as slave soldiers? Consulting your Funko Pop shelf must be the only exception to looking something up. That doesn't count as cheating. That's like, well, my DVD collection was right there in front of my eyes. I couldn't help it. The good news about that, as I like to tell people when there's a category that, you know, is very one-sided, is luckily we don't have to do that again. Now it's over, it's done, and we can move forward. The other good thing is that we did it second, so it doesn't linger in the back, and we're not finishing the game with it, which would also be very disappointing. But if you are a Game of Thrones fan, you are probably reveling in this moment. A little French moment there. Let's take a look at your answers for Winter is Coming, your Game of Thrones questions. I was giving you 1 point each for the name of the character and for his nickname on the show. He is Sir Gregor Clegane, or the Mountain. That's right. Actually, it's the Mountain who sits on a horse or something. It's a longer one, but this is good enough. So 1 point for each, whichever you wrote down, you get a point for. Number 2, we have Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. Those were the 3 dragons that Daenerys had. And last but not, so 1 point each for those as well. So far, we're at 5 points for this Game of Thrones game. And the Unsullied, your warrior eunuchs. I like the sound of that. I think I'm gonna look into that. It sounds good. Eunuch. It sounds unique. You know, it sounds special. I like that. Give yourself a point for each of those, and we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for this Game of Thrones round. It's bound to happen one time. Sometimes you don't think about it, but just doing a similar Disney category has very similar effects to people who don't know Disney. So I think this was their turn. It was the turn of people who like Game of Thrones. Well, let's take a look at your next category. As I said before, that category is gone now. We don't have to worry about Game of Thrones anymore. We just have to move on to a little bit of music. It is songs in the key of 90s pop rock. Hey, a little bit of 90s in the mix here. We're slowly inching towards some modern music, I have to say. Let's take a look at what 90s pop rock had in store for us. Number 1, what band found themselves living a semi-charmed life in 1997? Number 2, whose 1996 debut album includes the hit songs Real World, 3 AM, and Push? No. Number 3. What song by Fastball starts with a radio tuning during which you can hear Jewel, Roy Orbison, and Madonna? What? I don't understand what's going on. What are you guys referring to? Well, maybe these answers will illuminate me a little bit more about what you guys are giggling about there in the chat here. Let's take a look at these 90s pop rock answers. And it's so funny to see that so a lot of people are like, bring back the Game of Thrones. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, sometimes you think a category is obvious because you know a lot about it, but then you realize other people have no idea. For example, that Third Eye Blind sings Semi-Charmed Life. That's right, the catchiest song about crystal meth addiction. Did you know? Matchbox 20, it's AB's favorite band, everybody. Matchbox 20. I didn't do that on purpose. I have to tell you, I did not do it on purpose, but I think it is pretty funny, so I should own it. And the song The Way, I did not realize at the beginning of that song, I did realize that you could hear a radio tuning, you know, one of those devices, but apparently if you listen closely, you can hear Jewel, Madonna, and whoever that third band I mentioned was. I forget now. There you go. Give yourself a point for all of these. And don't believe anything AB says. He told me the other day. He's like, I just don't want everyone to know I like Matchbox 20. But you can let him know what you think in the Games Lounge tonight. He'll be there playing along with us at the Games Lounge. And you can, everybody show up and tell him how great of a band Rob Thomas and Friends is. All right, so we got some ones, some twos. We got a couple of threes in there. And this is good. The scores are so far they're pretty spread apart, so it's really good. We've got font to film coming up. It's a favorite of a lot of people's categories. It's a category all about book to film adaptation, and I tried to get them from all over different time periods and whatnot. So hopefully you're able to get one or two of these. Hey, if not, maybe three. Let's take a look at number one. Which of Stallone's early works is based on a book, Rocky or First Blood? Number two, in font to film, what Roald Dahl book was made into a stop-motion animation feature by Henry Selick of Nightmare Before Christmas fame? And finally, number three. Name the three Robert Langdon novels that were made into movies starring Tom Hanks. You'll get 1 point each. Well, some good suggestions in there, including a Game of Thrones quickie at some point. I do have a full-size trivia that I was meaning to convert to the online format. So let me know if you've been to the in-person Game of Thrones, and if a lot of people have not been or have not seen that one, perhaps we'll turn that into a Saturday night special one of these nights, perhaps even live if enough people are into it. Let's take a look at the answers of font to film right here, where we were talking about book adaptations from all sorts of different time periods. First of all, in the 80s, we're talking about First Blood. That's right, the first Rambo movie is based on a book called First Blood. Rocky itself, the movie, was written directly by Sylvester Stallone himself. Number two, James and the Giant Peach, the Roald Dahl book, made into a stop-motion animation resembling very much the Nightmare Before Christmas because it shared the same director. And number three, we are talking about The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and Inferno. Those are the three Robert Langdon novels that were converted to film and starring Tom Hanks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for this round. Share your score in the chat. People talking about some Game of Thrones quickie, a Final Fantasy quickie, which I definitely told Chris I was going to do. Then Weird Al, which I did do, and it looks like yeah, those who are asking for it, some have not played it yet. Okay, I see how this goes. Let's take a look at your next one. Maybe Sneaky Sneak. I see what you said there. It could be possible that maybe we're hitting all the hard categories first, and maybe all the easy categories are up next. Could that be? Could it be? Let's find out. I've got Movie Madness coming up next. It is your picture round, which means 5 pictures coming at you. And for each image, I want you to identify the movie that is being represented in a quite literal fashion. There's not much I can tell you about these pictures that you won't figure out once you see them, so let's keep going with this. 5 pictures coming up for 20 seconds each, and they all represent a movie. Can you write them down? Start with number 1. You thought that was disturbing, Chris. Look at this one. I knew you guys would like those. Oh, and I knew you would also hate that one because even though I know it's coming, I never expect it. I never expect it. I always, I'm always taken aback. I think that goes to the quality of the Photoshop done on that. And all of those, as a matter of fact, that all represented a certain movie quite literally. Let's take a look at those answers I was looking for. The first one being Blood Diamond. Pretty simple. We had a diamond covered in blood. Number 2, we had the Elephant Man. And a good job on that one there. Number 3, that was the one that was a little creepy. Happy Feet, and so was the photo representing it. Number 4, we had I, Robot. Get it? And at number 5, we were talking about snakes on a plane. Give yourself a point for each of those movies that you got correct. Snakes on a Plane, definitely the best one in there. Yeah, after Happy Feet. Five categories left, and I've got nothing written on my board. I'm going to take some time to take a look at your little chats here while you take a look at the board and pick a category for me. Send some shout outs to some people over here. What's going on here? Sarah getting 5 on that last movie category. Good job on that one. Sarah Jacques Sansenois. Yeah. And what do we got here? Disturbing movies, and some choices are starting to show up here. We've got Taser coming up right here. We got Taser happening. We got Initial. We got Chain Gang. And we got Diff. Perfect. Let's do it like that. And that's how that goes. We're going to play these and then a short break after that. Then we come back, we got 10 more categories, and then we're going to take a bit of a longer break, and then we're back with Games Lounge. You're going to have to definitely leave this room, get into another one, but come and play some Games Lounge with us tonight. Should be a great time. All 5 of us will be there waiting for you, and it's just a casual time where we all just play some board games with each other and with you guys. So join us there after, if you will. Let's get on with Taser, also known as the acronym speed round. We've got 3 questions regarding initialisms or acronyms. Let's take a look at what those questions are tonight. What does the A stand for in laser? Blade, laser, blazer. Taser face. Number 2. If you were to expand and translate the French initialism RSVP, what would it say in English? And finally, number 3 in the Taser round, or acronym speed round. When it comes to television, what does the C stand for in BBC? When it comes to television. And there you have it. That is your acronym speed round. 3 questions all about acronyms or initialisms. Hopefully you knew the answers to all of those. Television. Don't make me come over there. Let's take a look at your answers for number. Anyone who doesn't get the joke is like, what's he talking about? Why does he keep saying television? Number 1, the A in laser stands for amplification. I'll take amplifying as well. Amplification is what it is. Number 2, we were talking about please respond. RSVP means répondez s'il vous plaît, or please respond. That's what I wanted to see. And last but not least, when it comes to television, what does BBC stand for? The C stand for? It stands for corporation. The British Broadcasting Corporation, not channel. Give yourself a point for each of those: amplification, please respond, and corporation. Some people were asking, how was Wednesday? That's right, Manchester Pub Trivia is back Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. It was my first return since March, and it was a great time. We had 8 teams, which does not sound like a lot compared to what we normally get, but considering the place, the venue is, half capacity and whatnot, there were only 4 free tables. So it looks like it will be continuing on. If you want to be sure, make sure you check out the Mack Flash page on Facebook and keep aware of that, and we will be announcing when the next trivia is, and I'm sure it will be on Wednesday. It is the same format as you would have seen on Mondays and Wednesdays during Mack Flash Trivia Live here at 7 o'clock on the channel, but you get to do it in person. We have taken measures, of course, to keep it safe, so it's pretty much exactly like we're doing online, where you are marking your own sheets so that there's no trading of sheets, and we are not doing prizes just yet so that we don't have to hand anything out, and I am wearing a mask at most times, unless of course I'm taking a sip of my beer, at which point, it's kind of, I have to. They don't have straws that fit under the mask. It's not even recommended that you do that. Not a good idea. So, thank you very much to all of you who did come out, and it was nice to see a lot of you in person as well. Well, to see all of you in person, but to see a lot of the fans online come on out to Manchester and be there. So, thank you very much, and whenever you're comfortable, I cannot wait to see you back out in trivia nights in public. Let's keep going with initial reaction right now. This is a high-scoring game, 9 possible points coming at you. In each box, I'm going to give you 3 descriptions of 3 people that share a set of initials. Now, I'm not going to tell you what their initials are, hoping that maybe one of them is obvious enough that you will know it, and then you'll get their initials and be able to figure out the other 2. The trick is you only have a limited amount of time to do so, and what I want you to do is name every person in the box. Don't just give me the set of initials, that's not enough. Name every person, which means at the end, you could have 9 points for finishing this round. Let's take a look at the first initial reaction. 90s Catwoman, Chandler, and You Killed My Father. These are 3 different people that share a set of initials. Number 2. Different set of initials here, but all of them share it. Brenda Walsh, Affair with Trump. Dion Mary Davenport. And finally, number 3. We're looking for 3 people that share the same set of initials. Who are these people? Bilbo Baggins, Transformers Bombshell, Magneto with a Magnificent Member. I did have a great time returning to the Manchester, even got iced for the second time in my life, and both of them have happened on that stage, so it was like just being back home. That's what it is. Speaking of being back home, you must be feeling nice and familiar right here at Seriously Trivia, and hopefully you remembered how to play initial reaction properly. I'm literally just babbling right now to give you a few extra minutes in order to complete your answers, but I think that's long enough. Let's take a look at the answers for this initial reaction. First set of initials we were looking at were MP. That goes out to the Mack Flash merch guy, MP. We had Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, Matthew Perry as Chandler, and Mandy Patinkin. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Inigo Montoya. That was supposed to be the tough one. At number 2, we had a little bit of SD happening over here. Some Shannon Doherty, Stormy Daniels, Affair with Trump, and Stacey Dash from Clueless, playing Dion Marie, what's her face. And at number 3, we're looking at the initials MF, for obvious reasons. Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins, Megan Fox, the bombshell from Transformers, and Michael Fassbender, who played the Magneto with the Magnificent Member. Give yourself a point for each of those. That means 9 possible points if you got them all. And that's some nice scores coming up right now in the chat. Three categories left in this game, and we got some good ones lined up right here. Starting off with a little bit of a chain gang happening for you right now. Another 9-pointer, if you will. 2 of them in one game, back to back. Could it be? Yeah, definitely. Happens all the time. This is a chain gang. What I'm going to do is in each box, I'm going to give you 5 words. The 3 in the middle contain blanks, and those are the ones you have to figure out. Now, the cool thing is you can use every word with the next one to form a common expression or saying. For example, here we've got chain gang, gang leader, leaderboard, board game. You see how that works? Well, you're going to have to do that 3 times and 3 times in each box, which means 9 possible points coming to your team right now. Let's take a look at your first one. The trick is you don't have a lot of time to do it. So get your minds right. Let's get going. Number 1. Thank you for noticing the new example. Let's take a look at number 2 in Life on the Chain Gang. I would argue that that is the tougher one of the 3 you will get tonight. Let's let you be the judge when you look at number 3, your 3rd chain gang puzzle coming up right now. That's it for Chain Gang. That's right, 9 answers on your board, hopefully, and 9 points if you got them all. Let's take a look at the answers for this Chain Gang for this week. We were looking at the first one: pole vault, vault door, doorman, man cave. Hopefully, that's what you got as well. Number 2, the one I'd say was a little tougher, than the first one. We have days off, off-brand, brand name, and a name book. Like when you're picking out, a new name for a child, you use a name book. And at number 3, we had softball, ball joint, joint roller, roller derby. Vault, door, man, off-brand name, ball, joint, roller. All of those will get you a point. Let us know what you got out of 9 points in the chat. Price Punchers with 9 out of 9. COVID Conman as well. Jim with 5, Sue with 8. I like the look of that. A big thanks to Littlefoot Foods, our major sponsor here at Mack Flash Trivia. Make sure you do check them out. And if you go to their store and check them out, let them know that Mack Flash says hello and that you heard of them here on the show. You can always check them out on Facebook, Littlefoot Foods, or check out their website, littlefootfoods.com, to know exactly what is happening in this time of Phase 3 and reintegration and whatnot. Let's take a look. I was just catching up with some stuff in the right here in the chat here. What's got someone and somebody bad Francois for some reason. I don't know. Name book maybe that's the one. We got Same But Diff, and then we've got Quiz On coming up, and then we're going to take a short break, as I said, and we'll be back with round number 2. But not before we do one of our favorite games, Same But Diff. Homophones, they're right there in their place. And that sentence pretty much says it all. This is exactly what we're going to be doing. In the following boxes, I'm going to give you some sentences that contain blanks. Those blanks can be filled with words that sound the same but mean different things. Therefore, homophones. We've got 3 sentences coming up, and within the context of that sentence, you should be able to find what word fits in both blanks, meaning 2 different things. Let's get started with number 1. It was no surprise that the North won when they conducted a blank about people's favorite blank. Number 2, the blank reason you do something you enjoy is because it's good for your blank. And finally, number 3. You'll blank the day you messed with my blank, said blank angrily from his kitchen in 100 Acre Wood. And there you have it, Same But Diff, 3 different sentences with 2 blanks each that can be filled with a word spelled the same, but that means different things. Let's take a look at what you came up with for these homophones. Number 1, the sentence wanted to say, It's no surprise that the North won when they conducted a poll to determine people's favorite poll. There's poll again, 2 in a row. Can you believe it? There it is. Last one. Next one. We have soul and soul. The sole reason you do something you enjoy is because it's good for your soul. And the last one, if you could poo the day, that would have made sense, but it doesn't make sense. You'll rue the day you messed with my rue, said Rue from his kitchen in 100 Acre Wood. Well, I mean, you really had to work for it, but hopefully you were able to figure out Rue the day, of course, a roux, a mixture of flour and butter, and Rue the character from Winnie the Pooh. Give yourself a point for each of these pairs or triplets. So this is out of 3, simply because they all rhyme, so you should have been able to figure it out at some point. It's the return of kangaroo trivia. That's correct. Sneaking in there, undetected. A little bit of kangaroo trivia. All right, we got some good scores over here. Some 3s, some 2s, a couple of 1s. But overall, some great homophone knowledge. Let's finish it off with some quiz on. And we're going to do this, and as I said before, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back after that with another 10 rounds, and of course, your shot of the night hidden somewhere in there. So somebody please pick wisely when we get back, so that we don't have to finish off with the shot of the night. Let's take a look at Quiz On. It's Quiz on Pots. That's right, it's something on the mind today, and there it is. Quiz on Pots, assorted questions about pots. This is possibly the most serious round we'll do. Or is it? Of earthenware, ceramic, and porcelain, which requires the highest firing temperature between 1200 and 1400 Fahrenheit? Number 2, if you suffer from the medical condition POTS, what part of your body is mostly affected? And finally, number 3 in the category of pots. What is the name for a kind of Chinese dumpling commonly eaten in China and other parts of East Asia? There was a theme tonight. I forget what it is. I don't know why. My memory, not what it's been. Not what it's been. No, definitely not. But these were your 3 questions about pots. Hopefully you were able to come up with the answers, and you know a lot about pots. At least this much. Let's take a look. I have no idea. It's not working tonight, guys. It's not working. There's a stop right between here and here. And the words just keep like getting bunched up and then falling out. That's what happens. Quiz on pots. Which one? Porcelain requires the highest firing temperature. You had a multiple choice there, so there you have it, porcelain. Number 2, if you have pots, you have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and your heart is what is affected. Basically, if you have pots, when you stand up, your heart starts beating very, very fast, and you get lightheaded. That's what pots will do to you. And number 3, pot stickers are the dumplings that you can get and that had pots in it. Give yourself a point for each of those: porcelain, heart, and pot stickers. Well, that's it for this game. Look at that. We're already at the end. Thank you. Subscribe for more trivia. That is great advice. If you haven't done so yet, please, yes, subscribe to our trivia. There should be a thing in the corner of your screen. I think it's right here. If I'm not mistaken, it's right there below my finger. It's a little play button, like it looks like the YouTube logo. You click on that, it opens up a box. It goes like this, and then boop, subscribe, and you're done. You're already subscribed, and then you won't miss any of our shows ever. Isn't that grand? Wouldn't that be great? Well, there you have it, everybody. We got your scores coming up here. It looks like it's out of 48 or 49. Got a little discrepancy, but I'm going to go with 49 based on my assistants over here, the COVID con man, being a very covert COVID con man. Let's take a look at those scores. Make sure you do share them in the chat. Let us know. Thank you, Mike. It is out of 49, and I see some great scores scrolling by right now. We're gonna take a short break. Don't forget to come back with your shot of the night, or yes, in case that is more your thing, your puff of the night, or your snack of the night, or whatever it is that you want to do with us. As long as you're here, doesn't matter to me. Don't go too far. We'll be back in exactly 3 minutes after this break. You know what? Give me 4 minutes. I gotta go check on the girls. Thanks to everybody for joining me again tonight, and I really appreciated the messages that you guys missed me on Wednesday. For those of you who couldn't make it on Monday, and your night is usually Wednesday nights, yes, things eventually are going to go back to normal, and we will have to change and adapt, but I am coming up with all sorts of different ideas and ways to maintain this online presence for you, as well as balance it out with some, let's call them paying gigs in person. So all of that is, of course, what I do, but that trivia is what I do all the time. This is what I do, so don't worry, there will always be something for you guys to do for that. All sorts of stuff as well coming up with the fall, and tons of fun. The merch, as Mario mentioned, of course, very nice looking merch, and I finally got to see some in person on Wednesday when players showed up with their shirts, and there's something quite humbling about watching someone walk up to you and they're wearing your shirt, the shirt of your thing, showing their support like that. I do appreciate it, and make sure you do check out the wearitproud.ca/collection/Mack Flash. It was on the screen before, and you can order all sorts of different types of t-shirts and hats, and pretty soon, as a matter of fact, by next week, I will have the Mack Flash shot glasses ready to go as well, so that's kind of exciting. We're figuring out how to get those to you as easily as possible and as cheaply as possible, but when I get those, we'll take a look at that, and then we'll be getting you some of those soon. Let's get to our game, because we got to finish this off, play this, and get these categories going, and then after that, following it up with the Games Lounge. So still a lot of fun to be had tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's categories, but not before I give you a quick rundown of how tonight's going to work. Quick lesson, have something to write on and with, because you're going to want to keep track of your answers for all of these lovely categories, which we are going to be playing. You're going to be shouting them out in the chat. I will be writing them down, and we're going to be playing them in that order. When we do, we're going to pick a category, and in it you will find 3 questions that you will answer directly or discreetly, or both, on your board or your sheet, because immediately after that category, it's answer time, baby. That's right, I'm going to show you the answers to those. You're going to mark your own sheet, and then you can share your score in the chat with everybody else, of course keeping track of your final score in order to tell everybody at the end how much better you are than them. I think that's the fastest I've ever explained how to play Seriously Trivia, and I will never know if it was effective or not, because it's time to play. Let's go. What do we got over here? Excuse me one second. I have beer up my nose. Well, that was a terrible feeling. Former and the latter coming up first. We've got sitcom. Oh, see what I did there? We've got mystery bus coming up, followed by songs in the key of. Yes, but no. We got odd one out. Can Geo. Brad Libs. Nursery school knowledge. And keychain party. Oh my, oh my. Don't forget, one of these is hiding the shot of the night, so pick wisely when you choose, because once that category comes up, we all get to share in a shot. Oh, excuse me. And I'm taking a look right now. You guys seem to have written songs. And then we got Rebus. And then we've got Brad. And then we've got Can Geo. And then we got Odd. And then we got Sitcom. Ha ha. Get it? And then Sitcom. And then we're going to keep it going like that. Everyone's staying away from some of these categories, more popular than others. We're gonna have to take a look. Let's see what your first one is. I got my voice back, everybody. I'm back, and let's take a look at your first one. It is songs in the key of. I wasn't ready there. I got confused. It's the mighty 80s. Well, all right. Somebody asked me. He said before I had the 90s. Bring back the 80s. All right, fine. I listen. You ask, I listen. That's what I do. It's a two-way street here. It's mostly one way. It's like two-way, like for an hour a day, and then after that, it's kind of one way. Let's take a look at these songs in the key of the mighty 80s. Number 1, who is responsible for the hit song You Spin Me Round Like a Record? Number 2, what song and band is this? Oh, you're not even gonna know the whole lyrics. Oh Lord, I pray you give me the strength to carry on, 'cause I know what it means to walk along this street of dreams. The street of dreams. That's a bit of a mistake here. And you'll get a point each for that last one, if you could figure it out. Number 3, what American rock band features members Charlotte Cathy, Gina Shock, and Belinda Carlisle? Thank you, Andrew. It was The Lonely Street of Dreams for that last one. So that last one ended, or the second one would have ended with That Lonely Street of Dreams. Thank you to resident music expert AB for catching that and letting us know. Thank you. Let's take a look at these answers coming up for songs in the key of the mighty 80s. And number 1, we were talking about who sings You Spin Me Round Like a Record, Baby Round. It is Dead or Alive. That is the name of the group that does that. Number 2, it was Here I Go Again by Whitesnake. That is the song and the artist we were looking for. You get 1 point each for those. And finally, the Go-Go's are made up of those, and that apostrophe is unfortunately correct. 4 points for this round of songs in the key of. And once again, this one is out of 4, so don't mess it up. If you've got, just don't jip yourself out of some points. If you got Here I Go Again, but you did not get Whitesnake, you still get 1 point. If you got Whitesnake and not the song, you still get 1 point. When I went back to when I went back to live shows, I was debating whether or not I should play this music or real music, considering I actually had the opportunity, and I compromised. I definitely started with the theme song, and then I moved on to some regular music. So, you know, you got to find a way to make everybody happy, including myself. Let's get on with some. We got some scores coming out here. Some 2s, some 4s. 2, 3, 2. We got 1, 1. A couple of zeros. That's all right. That's all right. We're just getting started with this category here, or this half. Coming up next, it's Mystery Bus, or is it Mr. Rebus? That's right, we're talking about Rebus puzzles, and that one went all the way over there for some reason, and I forgot to check it. But let's say that letter I was under the word stand, right? Let's say it was. Let's say. Then that would be the expression I understand. Oh, okay. Now you understand? Yes, hopefully you do. Let's take a look at these 3 Rebus puzzles coming at you right now. Now I'm afraid that I didn't check any of these. Number 2 in the Rebus puzzles, let's take a look at this one. And finally, number 3, your third rebus puzzle of the night. There you have it. Those are your 3 rebus puzzles. All 3 of them work, although as I suspected, I forgot to inspect them closely, and so the answer will be different on the screen, but I'll be able to let you know. You probably got the answer I'm thinking about, not exactly what I've written down, but that is quite all right. Let's take a look at my answers, see if they match with yours. Number 1, working 9 to 5. There were 9 of the word working, 2 of the word 5. It was working 9 to 5. All right, there you have it. Number 2, we had beat around the bush. The word beat was all around the bush, and that's what we had, beat around the bush. The last one, admittedly, was supposed to be at the top of the box, which point it would have meant to shift into high gear. But because I did not put it at the top, shift into gear is fine as well. So, working 9 to 5, beat around the bush, and shift into gear, not necessarily high gear, because it wasn't placed where I wanted it to be. Give yourself a point for each of those and share your score in the chat. Yes, I will also accept shifting gear, or as in like shift in gear, you know, you're shifting gears. Yeah, so that would be fine. Shift in gear, yeah. So once again, as I was explaining, it was supposed to be located at the top of the box, which means it would have been shift in high gear, because it would have been at the top of the box, as opposed to the middle where it normally goes. It would have been higher than usual. But it wasn't. It was not. No. Because why? Oversight. Yes. Rushing. Going too fast. But hopefully this makes up for it, everybody. I wasn't going to bring it. I wasn't going to put it on. I wasn't going to put it in this game. I was going to skip it and say keep it for next time. But my lovely wife was like, you know what? Give it to the people. The people love it. Please the people. And I said, all right, fine. I will please the people with Brad Libs. In Brad Libs, what I do is I give you a sentence, not unlike the ones we did before with homophones, but this time you are to fill the blanks with a deconstructed Will Smith movie. This is Brad Libs' Will Smith edition. It's called Brad Lives because it is based on Brad Pitt movies. For example, here, soldiers go to war with machine guns. War Machine is a Brad Pitt movie. That's how this category was born. It was born with Brad Pitt, but we had to keep expanding. This is the Will Smith edition. So for each of these, I want you to deconstruct a Will Smith movie and in order, insert the words in the blanks for the sentence to make sense. Oof. Thank you, oh generous tyrant. You're welcome. The spy knew the mission was blank if she didn't bring her blank. Number 2. It was only blank takeoff that the astronaut realized he left his watch on blank. And finally, can you find the Will Smith movie you can deconstruct to fill in these blanks Make the sentence make sense. People used to go blank over the movie Blank Things when I lived out blank. And there you have it. That is Brad Lib's Will Smith edition. 3 Will Smith movies should be written down on your board or paper in order for you to get the points. Let's take a look at these answers and see if you were able to figure it out. Number 1, the sentence wanted to say, she knew the mission was a suicide if she did not bring her squad. Suicide Squad. Number 2, we were looking at the movie After Earth. It was only after takeoff that the astronaut realized he left his watch on Earth. That is not one you turn around for. You definitely, we've gone too far. You can get a new watch. You can get a new watch. Unless you're Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction, then you go back for your watch. Wild West. People used to go wild over the movie Wild Things when I lived out west. All of that is a lie. No one went wild over the movie Wild Things, and I never lived out west. Suicide Squad, After Earth, Wild West. Give yourself a point for each of those. 3 fantastic films. It's true though, Mike, you just made me realize that these movies were all pretty much the same amount of terrible. Bad boys, eh? So she knew the mission was bad if she didn't bring her boys. Oh, I mean, it's a stretch, but sometimes I like stretches, so I'll give you that one. But I don't tend to stretch much. Like maybe once, I get out of bed, that's about it. That's as stretchy as I get. Let's take a look at your next one coming up. We've got Can Geo. A little bit of actual knowledge here. Boo, Francois. Boo, actual knowledge. What are we doing here? Let's take a look here. We got some 2s, some 3s, some 1s. It's all over the place again. Maybe this Can Geo category, all about Canadian geography. Ooh, 2 very requested topics that people instantly regret when I bring them up. You should have more Canadian trivia. You should have more geography. Okay, let's take a look at these. What part of Canada is 243,042 kilometers long? Number 2, name the highest peak in Canada and the mountain range of which it is a part. 2 points here. And finally, number 3. What Canadian city is the geographical center of North America, coming closest to the middle of the continent? And there you have it. That is Can Geo. What? I've been sitting here the entire time. What makes you think I moved? I've been here the whole time. Hey, hello, and hello. Shout out to Duty and Ma all the way in Ottawa. Thank you. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, you know a little bit about Canadian geography. Let's take a look if you knew this. Number one, what part of Canada is 243,000 kilometers long? It is its coastline. That's right, the longest coastline in the world. Number two, 2 points here. Tell me what mountain and what range. Mount Logan, and it is in the St. Elias Mountains. You get 1 point each for either answer you got correct. And last but not least, the weighted center. No, we're just talking about the actual geographical center like this, and we're talking about Regina, Saskatchewan. There you go, the closest to the center of North America. 4 points for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us know what you got in the chat. Neil brings up a very good point. Shout out to our good friend and friend of the show, Zac Efron. I know you've been busy filming your series, and hopefully one will be all about how trivia is great, how it brings people together, and how Mack Flash is an example to be followed around the world. Thank you for hopefully including us in season 2 of your show. Hashtag Zac Efron. Let's take a look at your next category coming up right now with Odd One. Whoa, hang on to your pens because it's Odd One Out, everybody. In Odd One Out, you've got a possibility of 6 points to be made here. I want you to tell me out of these 4 items which one does not belong and the reason for 1 point each. Let's take a look at your first one coming up soon. And I want to just point out that we are heading into the halfway point and we have not yet done the shot of the night. Shot, javelin, crack, stab. Which one does not belong and why? You'll get a point for each, so if you don't know why, pick one of the 4. Maybe you'll get it. Number 2 in Odd One Out, ice, air, tea, coffee. Which one does not belong and why? And finally, number 3 in Odd One Out. Which one of these does not belong and why? Jelly, jam, pickle, bind. And there you have it. That is Odd One Out. You get 1 point for the item that does not belong and then 1 point for the proper reason. Let's take a look at the answers. Hopefully, that'll be a nice 6-pointer for your team. Number 1, we were looking at javelin. The other ones were all attempts at something. Take a stab at something, take a shot, take a poke. No, we got the other one, but not javelin. So there you go. Number 2, we were talking about coffee. All the other ones were types of bags. Airbag, tea bag, bag of ice or ice bag, and coffee. You don't have a bag of coffee or a coffee bag. Well, you could, but it's not a common expression. And last but not least, we had jelly. There's that jelly that you thought was the answer for before, but no, here it is. You could be in a bind, in a pickle, in a whatever the other one was, but you cannot, in a jam, but you can't be in a jelly. Of course, I'll let you guys discuss the difference between jam and jelly in the chat. But for now, give yourself a point for javelin, coffee, and jelly. And of course, for the reason, they're all attempts, types of bags, or some way of saying that you're in trouble. A tea filter? I don't know. I'm not gonna go with that. I've never heard the expression tea filter as much as I've heard air filter and coffee filter, so I'll give you those. There you have it. Give yourself as many points as you feel you deserve on that last category because it feels like you all have great ideas. I love it. Let's take a look at your next category coming up. It is keychain party. It's time for a nice keychain party. Back to the 70s, my friends. This is... There it is, my friend. It is your shot of the night happening right now. What a fortuitous circumstance, everybody. This is the time of the night where we all gather together and do a shot in each other's honor. This is for everybody joining us right now, and this is just a way for us to come together, seeing as we're all sitting together in our own living rooms and whatnot. This is where we all join in an act of conviviality, where we do a shot, whether it's whiskey, wheatgrass, or water. And whiskey indeed for me tonight. You are welcome to join us, or you can even just cheers your beer. This one goes out to we got some new friends joining tonight, and a lot of my family happens to be watching tonight randomly tonight. So this one goes out to all of my family. Cheers to you guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all your support, and hopefully we'll see you soon. To all of your health, everybody. Yeah, I can't. It's whiskey. I'm definitely going to cough more than tequila. Oh, that's a double cougher. And here it is, your picture round for this one, Keychain Party. If you guys are on Facebook and you've got Mack Flash on Facebook, you may have seen a post today about mismatched pairs of characters. And they were these pictures, and all I said was, hey, can you name all of these characters? Well, some of you who are the hardcores would have recognized that from a previous game that we did before. Call this Volume 2, where I've got 5 pictures of mismatched pairs of characters coming at you. And I want you to name each member of these swapped partners combination, which means you'll get 10 points if you can get all of those correct. Can you get 10 points? I think you can do at least 6. Let's take a look at question number 1. Yes, I could have made this complicated and had you name all the movies or maybe something better, but no, simply put, all you had to do was name the 10 characters seen here, and the fun fact is that they were mismatched and not in the regular pairs that they were supposed to be. 10 possible points going to you and your team if you were able to come up with the 10 characters that were seen here on the screen. Let's take a look at those answers coming up right now for Keychain Party, and everybody make sure you grab the right keys before you go home. Number 1, we had Flava Flav and Hardy of Laurel and Hardy. Give yourself a point for each of those. Whichever one you got correct, you get 1 point. At number 2, we had the Lone Ranger and Robin. Those are the 2 characters we were referring to in there. And number 3, it's nice and simple. It was Mickey and Mario. And I get the feeling Mickey would be a really good stand-in for Luigi. I don't know. I feel like that picture convinced me. Number 4, we had Minion, and if you were that smart and you wrote down that his name is Tim, well then give yourself a bonus point. Yeah, 2 points. Give yourself 2 points for that, because I had to look it up and it took me a while and I realized he has a name. Tim is the tall one with 1 eye. There's another tall one with 2 eyes. I believe that is Kevin. But Tim is the one who's tall with 1 eye. So if you got that, man, I have to give you the point. That's insane that you knew that. And then Sully for another point. And last but not least, we had Wally and Baby Groot coming in at number 5. So technically, this whole round, if you were really, really good with your Minions terminology, you're talking about 11 points in this Keychain Party. They have names: Kevin, Stu, Tom, Tim. We got 4 categories left in this round, after which make sure you do join us at 10 o'clock in the Games Lounge, where basically me and 4 of my friends are going to show up with each 1 card from 1 board game or so. We're going to take each our turn hosting that card for each other and for you. It's a good way to unwind on a Friday night after the game. Have another beer, bring some food, whatever you want to do, but we'll see you guys in the Games Lounge at 10 o'clock. I'll post the link into the chat whenever we are done here. But first, we are nowhere near done with 4 categories coming at you, and some very high scores here with some 10s, some 9s, some 10s, but yet I'm not sure if anybody actually got Tim's name correct. We'll have to know. Somebody will brag about it very soon, I'm sure of it. We've got Odd One Out is out of the way, which means we've got Sitcom, and this one is basically to make up for that Game of Thrones round in round number 1. This is all about television sitcoms. 3 questions coming at you, and it starts with this. Sound familiar? After a deadly virus sweeps the world, Phil Miller is seemingly the only human survivor in late 2020. Of course, the question for that last one was name the television show. Number 2. Starring Chris O'Dowd and Richard Ayoade, what British sitcom is famous for its line, "Have you tried turning it off and back on again?" And finally, number 3 in this category of sitcoms. From the mind that brought you Seinfeld, what show features a slew of celebrities appearing as versions of themselves? Again, I was rushed a little bit. Apologies. From the mind that brought you Seinfeld, what show features a slew of celebrities appearing as themselves? And there you have it. That was Sitcom, your category, all about comedies or situational comedies or basically TV shows, comedies. Yeah, let's take a look at the answers coming up for these three right here. And the first one I wanted to see, I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, thank you very much. I practiced. Here's the thing, I did not practice, and that's what happens if I don't practice a word. I get it correct. So Richard Ayoade, yeah, I know how to say that one. Sitcom, and see how I attempted to say it a second time, and I think I got it right again. So number one, we have Last Man on Earth, Phil Miller, played by Will Forte, and turns out not the last man on Earth, but still apparently a very funny show. I did not get the chance to watch that yet. Saving it for later. We've got the IT Crowd, that British show, quite funny, as a matter of fact. Very insane, very cartoony. I like that about live action sitcoms. Kind of like 30 Rock, very cartoony. And Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, half of the team that brought you, of course, Seinfeld, with Jerry Seinfeld himself. But this time starring Larry David as himself, and a slew of course, celebrities who inhabit Los Angeles. Give yourself a point for each of those: Last Man on Earth, the IT Crowd, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. That was sitcom. You won't believe it, but I am out of we did pretty good on that, did you? I'm out of categories, guys. I'm also still reeling from that time I choked on my beer. Remember that? No, because I muted the mic, and I'm a consummate professional. But I'm telling you about it now because everybody likes a good commentary or Easter egg. Foreman the Ladder, yes but no. Nursery school knowledge. And it looks like we're starting off with a little bit of Former. And then it's going to be Peters. Peter, hey Peter. And then we're going to do nursery. And then we're going to do the other one, yes but no. There you go. That's how we do that. Former and the Ladder coming at you right now. I wasn't sure that this game was actually enjoyed by everyone. I was having some doubts sometimes, but I've had a couple of players come up to me, and one especially today, and said, no, you have to leave that game in. I like that game, and I think it's a really good one. So let's play some Former and the Ladder, where the answers to the three hints in each box are going to be one letter different than the previous. So for example, the words dead to deer to rear. You'll have three hints leading to these answers, and all you have to do is write down each word that is one letter off from each other for each box. 9 possible points going to your team if you're able to do so perfectly. It's a 4-letter word. First one meaning an open green area. The second one is an indication, like a check. And the third, it's a chocolate nougat bar or planet. Number 2, Informer and the Ladder. It's a 5-letter word. Telecommunication device. Ready to go. And convince someone. And finally, number 3, Informer and Ladder. It's a 5-letter word again. It's where things meet. A supporting beam. And to lift into the air. And that is how you play Former and Ladder. 9 possible points on your board if you were able to come up with 3 words that are 1 letter off from each other in each box. Let's take a look at the answers that I was looking for. Hopefully they match yours. Number 1, we're talking about a big open space, a green open space. We're talking about a park. An indication like a check is a mark, like a check mark. And Mars bar, the chocolate nougat bar, or a planet. Number 2, we're talking about a telecommunication device or a phone. To be ready is to be prone, and to convince someone is to prove something to them. There you have it. Number 3, we're talking about where things meet, joint. There's that word again. We got a joist, a supporting beam, and then to lift something up in the air is to hoist it up. Give yourself a point for each of those words you got correct, and this score is out of 9 points. Two categories left in tonight's game. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Seriously Trivia. Don't forget to join me again next Friday at 8 o'clock for another show. But you can also join me for Mack Flash Trivia Live, which is on Mondays at 7 o'clock for a more pub trivia style trivia. For those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't, please show up. Come and check it out, 7 o'clock on Mondays. Otherwise, a bunch of cool things happening over the weekend with quickies and whatnot. So keep an ear on or an eye on the Facebook page, or subscribe to the YouTube page to get a notification the moment we release a new quiz for you. What do we got coming up next? It is, what do we have? Nursery school knowledge. Nursery. I think I say it funny. Let's take a look at nursery school knowledge. This is actually part 2 as well, volume 2, because I found this game today in the old games. I said, I like this. I'm gonna do this again. Let's see how well you know your nursery rhymes. These are all about nursery rhymes, but they're details that are contained within the lyrics. So hopefully you know your nursery rhymes well enough. I love how there's a promo for another live show while you're watching a live show. Like, did you like this? Why don't you leave right now? Go play another one that's pre-recorded. Thank you. Sorry, that was just me ranting. I don't even know if you saw that. What were the 5 little monkeys doing instead of sleeping? Number 2, according to the final lines of Mary Had a Little Lamb, why does the lamb love Mary so? And finally, number 3 in nursery school knowledge. Which of these is not a combination of materials to fix London Bridge? Sticks and straw, wood and clay, or iron and steel? And there are your 3 questions about nursery rhymes. So hopefully you were able to figure out what these 3 answers were. A couple of multiple choices in there to help you out. Let's take a look at the answers for these nursery rhymes. Of course, a lot of them were based on later lyrics in the song. I was gonna call it the track. Definitely some dope tracks in these nursery rhymes. Number one, jumping on the bed. The 5 little monkeys were jumping on the bed. One fell over and knocked his head. Yada yada yada. No more jumping on the bed. All right. Number 2, Mary had a little lamb, fleece as white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Yada yada yada, keeps going on and on and on. Why does the lamb love Mary so much? Why, Mary loves the lamb, you know. That's why, because Mary loves the lamb. That's why the lamb loves Mary. All right, so we're just looking for Mary loves the lamb. And at number 3, we were talking about sticks and straw. These are not methods that are suggested in the song London Bridge is Falling Down. They do recommend these other methods, including silver and gold, at which point the person says, well, you know, if you use silver and gold to fix the bridge, someone's just gonna steal that. So the solution is to just put a dude there to watch it. And it's like, well, what if that dude falls asleep? And they're like, just give him a pipe to smoke all night. That was the solution to keep the guy awake in this song for children. A pipe to smoke. Yeah. Give yourself a point for each of those. Jumping on the bed, Mary loves the lamb, and sticks and straw. Took a special breed of people to get those correct. That's right. I'm calling you out. Calling you out. We got some 2s. We got some 1s. We got everybody arguing my definition of prone. It's a nice. It was a short way of writing prone, as in you're prone. You're standing prone, standing ready to go. You know, I don't know. Maybe I got that one right. Again, you know what? Give yourselves the points you think are valid according to my mistakes, and you can take that off of my final score. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. We've got your final category coming up right now. It is yes but no, and hopefully you were keeping the best for last. This is a category we've done before, but we haven't done in a while, all about contronyms. Contronyms are words that can have contradictory meanings, and so what I want you to do, for example, the word left is, a lot of people left, which means leaving, which only left 5 of us, so that those are the people left behind. So contradictory meanings right there. Fill in the blanks with a contronym or a word that has opposite meanings in order for the sentence to make sense within its own context. Let's take a look at number 1. After such a long pandemic, even those who work blank blank their homes cannot wait to get blank blank the house. That's right, I forgot to mention that all of these will be 2 dashes, as a matter of fact. I got people arguing that they've never heard of that in Mary Had a Little Lamb. You know all of Mary Had a Little Lamb from beginning to end? Because that's impressive. I've never heard more than the first 4 lines. Let's take a look at yes but no. Next sentence. Come up with a word that has opposite meanings. The giant fan can blank blank so much power, it's used to blank blank fires. And finally, number 3, yes but no. It was so hot, most of the runners' legs blank blank, even though the marathon organizers blank blank bottled water. And there they are, your yes but no. And to put to put to rest this entire prone thing, I think I was going for more of a likely to do something, so ready to go. And, maybe that wasn't the clearest way, but and there you have it. That's how it goes. Yes, but no, we've moved on. We're already at this category. Not only are we at this category, we're at the answers of this category. Let's take a look. All of these actually ran on a bit of a theme. If you got a few of them right, you may have seen a theme forming where they all had a little bit of a link. First one, we're talking about out of. People who work out of their homes cannot wait to get out of the house. Out of their homes, meaning inside their house, but out of the house, meaning outside of the house. We've got to put out, again, the word out. I forget the, the fan puts out so much power that it's used to put out fire. So that means that it actually creates something, creates wind, but it puts out a fire, the opposite meaning right there. And gave out, their legs gave out, which means quit or retracted their power, even though the organizers gave out, which is to actually give something as opposed to take away. So out of, put out, and gave out, 3 contronym expressions. How interesting is that? Give yourself a poem. Prone position, sure, but if I say I am prone to giving you a trivia show, that means I'm likely, I'm ready to. Like I said again, not exactly the proper definition, but that's ancient history by now, because that is it for Seriously Trivia on YouTube this week. Thank you so much for being part of the game. And thank you so much for joining me tonight on Mack Flash's YouTube channel. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe, to hit that like button if you enjoyed tonight's show. It lets me know, which of the games are popular, which ones I should bring back, and which ones I should cancel forever. Let your score shine through the chat, of course. And as you do that, I will get the link to tonight's Games Lounge. Don't forget to join us in the Games Lounge tonight for some more fun in just about, it looks like 15 minutes. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta get all the way to Studio B right now, and they just built me a new studio, and now I gotta go test that out. Hopefully everything still works when I get there, because this place, you gotta see it. It is fancy. It is fancy. So, thank you so much. I'm getting you this link. My name is Francois. I have been your host. It's been a blast. I'll catch you next time on Mack Flash Trivia. Bye-bye.